Yo, what up? My name is Don, and today I want to talk about burning out or feeling burnt out, especially in the creator space. And so I just wanted to highlight some of the things that can and do happen and share some insight from my experiences in dealing with it. So, with that being said, let's hop right in. Okay, so just a bit of insight into how long I've been a creator. I've been streaming for over 15 years since Justin TV was around, which was a long time ago. And although I've had my YouTube account for a long time, I've only been creating a lot of content over the last couple years, probably since 2022 when I started really diving into making content and reaction videos with my girlfriend. And on top of that, I've run my own business for about 10 years now as a photographer, videographer, which is another creative outlet. And so I've had my fair share of burning out because I think that burning out is a maybe not necessary thing that happens to creatives because it happens to everybody. But I think it's something that happens when you are exerting too much energy into something and not getting enough return. So, you know, I want to bring up and highlight the idea of balance throughout this. Mental balance and balance in your energy, what you're putting out, what you're receiving is so important. I think a lot of people don't think about it or overlook it, or often wonder why they are feeling depressed or why they're feeling bummed out or why they're feeling burnt out. And just can't figure it out. And so I find that when people don't really pay any attention and any mind to this process of maintaining their balance happens and they go too much in one direction. It's like those old scales, right? When you have to put those old scales that are like little dishes, and you have to put weights on both sides to get them to balance out even. You really do need to maintain your balance and try and pay attention to how much energy you're putting into specific things if they're not giving you some sort of satisfaction or fulfillment back, right? So it is a two-way street, and so like I was saying, when you lean too far in one direction, when you go too far in one direction, I find that burning out is like the body and mind's fail-safe mechanism that happens to prevent you from just crashing out and just completely stopping whatever it is you're doing. Burning out to me is not necessarily a negative thing. It can feel bad when the process happens, and the aftermath is that you're kind of sitting around bummed out, not knowing what to do with yourself or how to pick up again. But I think that, again, the process of burning out isn't necessarily a bad thing because what it does is it's like in my opinion, it's the mind and body's last ditch effort to get you from, I guess, just going too overboard with, resenting doing what you're doing. So it's almost like a recalibration of your energy, right? A refocusing of your energy. And throughout the process of when you hit the point of burnout, to snap the elastic back to the middle and get back to balance, I think what happens is you start to try and find out. I mean, once you can accept, you go through the process of after after denial, and once you're at the point of acceptance, I think that you start to um, re in your imagination, I guess, you start to, at least I think this is a positive way to go about it. Once you try to reimagine what the end goal is for what you were pouring energy into in the first place, it can become easier to get back on that metaphorical horse. It can become easier to, to get back to the grind per se and get back to what you were doing with rejuvenated energy. And you find, at least in the content creator space, in the streamer space, that's what happens to a lot of streamers. If you are a viewer or a fan of a lot of streamers, you find that there are times when they have to take breaks, and maybe you follow them on Twitter, and they'll post, I'm taking a break for so long, like I'm just not in it anymore. This has happened to me too. I'm not impervious to it. There are definitely times when I feel like the energy that I'm putting into everything that I'm doing, I'm not really getting what I want out of it. And so it can feel very like, a bucket with a hole in it that's just leaking, and you can't, it's just it's just sucking your energy, right? And it's getting you to that point of burnout where you have to go, oh, you have to go, stop. The body, if you can't do it, if you're too, sometimes you have to have that outside perspective. And I honestly feel like that outside perspective in this case, without another person interjecting, is your body and your mind being like, whoa, let's take the horse blinders off, right? And let's just hold on for a second and let's look around us and let's re-clarify, let's refocus, let's reimagine our vision here, our end goal, and then it will be easier to get back to, to center. And from that point, it'll then be easier to take your renewed energy and pour it back into whatever you were doing. And um, burnout isn't something that just happens once. If you are chasing a goal that is just the bigger the goal, the harder the road and the longer the road and the more opportunities there are for you to burn out. So, in that you have to really start to pay attention. If burning out is something that happens over and over and over to you, maybe it's time to start paying attention to maintaining that balance. And this can be everything from giving yourself a bit of more self-love and self-care. That can be anything from, like, for example, I'll just take me instead of, like, giving these metaphorical, plucking them out of thin air examples. I play guitar and I stream every single day. So it's in my benefit to, um, you know, stretch every single day. It's in my, this is like me maintaining the balance, right? Because I'm dealing with shoulder impingement, which is a injury that I've mentioned in other videos. It makes your arm from the shoulder down feel like it's just dead weight. It's so hard to do anything. It's like this kind of, swelling type pain. It just doesn't feel good, right? It feels like you can't function as well as you want to with your arm. So for me, maintaining the balance and not burning out in a physical sense, right? Getting my body to a point where I literally can't use it is me doing things like stretching and working out and eating well and sleeping well, right? And, going for walks and just maintaining, even like just eating better to have a better source of energy to pull from when I want to give out so much energy when it comes to doing 2 streams a day, when it comes to, connecting with all the brands and, content that I want to make and writing all the scripts for all the videos and, planning videos every single day. Right now, I'm on a content schedule where I come up with a YouTube video every single day. And sometimes it's very hard to come up with an idea or to come up with an idea within the time that I have on that certain day to come up with the video. So, like I said, if burnout is something that is happening too often, maybe it's a good idea to pull back and, um, whether you want to offload some of the responsibility or some things you are doing, or just, you don't have to change anything about what you're doing, but just refocus the steps that you're going to take to get to your end goal. It may not feel as hectic and it may not feel as, all over the place when you go at it the second time with a clearer vision. So, burnout is, you could look at it another way and call it a recalibration of clarity. And I mean, that is part of the process, right? So if you just want to focus on that side of the process, it can be a whole thing that is less daunting, less debilitating, and more, if it's almost like the saying, "If you stay ready, you don't have to get ready." If you understand that it is something that you're going to most likely run into, whether you are a creator or not, this can happen in, situations in life that have nothing to do with being creative. Like, say it's just like a construction job or something, and you're just putting a lot of energy into a home build or something like that, like a certain job, and your coworkers are slacking, or the energy that you're putting in is not being recognized by your boss or something, like whatever it is, it's the same feeling. Energy out, you hit a point of no return where it doesn't feel good anymore. And then, you start to, it's almost like you start to reel back into yourself instead of being so outwards and boisterous and giving. You start to reel back into yourself a little bit. And I feel like through that process of reeling back into yourself, you start to recalibrate and decide how you want to come back out. So it's not really the worst thing. I think it's a little bit of, call it like an evolution of self, because every time you go through that burnout process, I think that you don't go through the same burnout that you did previously. I think that, once you figure out how to deal with that, it's almost like a Rubik's Cube coming at you. Problems are going to come at you, right? And once you figure out that problem, once you figure out that Rubik's Cube, you can throw it over your shoulder and it's no problem. If that same one decides to come back to you again, you can go, not today. You know what I mean? I already figured that one out, and this is how we're going to deal with that. So, I would say it's a good idea sometimes to, take a couple days to your, not even, it doesn't even have to be days off, because again, that might sound a little hypocritical of me, being that I stream every single day and I come up with content every single day. So you could ask, well, where do you take time off, right? For me, I love the work process, and I find that it's easier to do because I actually like making videos, and I actually like streaming, and I actually like making content, and making content for brands, and I love this whole thing. So it is easier for me, and often it doesn't feel like work. It feels like a privilege to be able to do this. So I mean, if you can attach yourself to something that feels like that, or again, recalibrate yourself away from the things that are maybe draining your energy so quickly, it won't be such an issue, and you'll be better equipped, better prepared, and better equipped to deal with it if it does come knocking at your doorstep. So that's really all I want to talk about in this video. Just a um, you know, quick little discussion about burning out, and just energy drain, and I guess energy balance, and being able to refocus and have clarity about what it is you're doing, your specific mission, right? So, good energy to everybody, man, on what you're working on. Keep your heads up, and definitely know when to rebalance yourself, and you'll get better at knowing when to do that, right? You'll get better at knowing, because with experience and comes knowledge, and once you have the knowledge and the know-how, it's not as bad. So, that's it for me. If this video helped you out in any way, or you have any thoughts to add, please add them down in the comments down below. If you're dealing with burnout right now, or you have successfully dealt with a case of burnout and you're past that, and you're on back on the grind, you're on the high again, let me know what you think down in the comments below. And as always, please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.